Hello, everyone. Benjamin Lindsay here, managing editor at Backstage. Happy June 1st. Happy first day of Pride to all those who celebrate. Um, I am so excited today to speak with Mr. DB Woodside. He is one of the several stars of Lucifer, which just over the long weekend celebrated the premiere of season 5B. And I mean, his co-stars are so excellent. Tom Ellis, Rachel Harris. They themselves were recently featured with Backstage, so I'm really excited to get to pick DB's brain a little bit. He's a graduate of the Yale School of Drama. He's been acting professionally for the better part of 25 years across film, and TV. And yeah, it should be a good chat as part of our ongoing Backstage live series. For everything coming up with our ongoing schedule with Backstage Lives, go over to backstage.com/magazine for the running calendar of events. Let me see if DB is in the audience right now and we can pull him up here. All right, I see you right here. Let me pull you on camera. Go.
Hey.
Hello, DB. How are you?
All right, let me try and set this up a little bit better.
No problem, no problem. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us today. I'm a big fan of yours and the series. Congratulations on your premiere weekend.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah, of course, of course. How does it feel after all this time to now finally have it out in the world?
It feels really good. It also feels strange because we just finished completing season 6. So we finished season 5 well over, I want to say, the bulk of it over a year ago. We were one of the shows that got shut down. Pandemic happened, so I think we had 5 days left. So most of what everybody saw, I think a lot of us forgot what we shot because we shot it over, most of that over a year and a half ago. So it was great to see, and it's also we always appreciate so much the feedback from fans, and I won't lie. There's that I was an athlete for most of my life. So when you're an athlete and you belong to a team that everyone, like a lot of people, have counted out so many times, and you finish strong, there's a little satisfaction that you feel about stomping on the haters. So I think people were at times taking some unfair shots at Lucifer, and I think the writers and the producers, the crew, the production team, Netflix, everyone just works hard on this show, and so it's nice to see that people are appreciating that, and especially that we get to do it for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned yourself that, or at least hint at kind of the trajectory that this series has had over the years. And now I feel like it's found an all new fan base. It's reignited the existing fan base, now finding a new life at Netflix and now going into season 6. What's that journey been like for you with this character in particular, just to have the opportunity to be with him for all these years at this point?
It's been fantastic. I think I've been fortunate in my career to be on some pretty shows. I'm really lucky. But this one, for me, to be able to start something from beginning to end with all the same people has been fantastic. It's been truly one of the best experiences of my life. And to start with this guy, this has been one of the most confusing characters, to be honest with you, that I've ever had to play. Because I feel, now that it's all over, we can all start being like a little bit more honest. I think that it was a little difficult to understand who he was since season 1, and I'm sure I've heard some of the fans say this. It feels like every season he was a different person. And I don't think I really understood who this guy was until season 4. I think I thought I did in season 2, but then season 3 was such a departure from season two, and I feel like in season four we kind of got back to what we do really well. Uh,
Hmm.
so I think he's been a really interesting guy. I think he's been confusing for me because he's grown so much, um, but never boring, never uninteresting. Just I've just been going along for the ride, and this will definitely go down as one of the most um, great, complex characters that I've ever had the pleasure to play.
Yeah, certainly. And I don't want to get into too spoilery territory because I know that some people might still be catching up on the new season. But something that really interested me about his journey in season five was this kind of friction between what's expected of a Menadil versus what he actually wants to do, and kind of balancing that out. You say yourself that it took a few seasons for you to really know what this guy's all about. And it seems like that's kind of reflective of his journey on screen too, figuring out what he actually wants. So what about that in this set of episodes of season five? What about diving into that kind of friction excited you as an actor?
Um, well, so much. I feel like in the last few years, so much of the world has, I won't say changed, but has started waking up. Uh, and so it's interesting to be doing a show that's yes, it's about the devil, and but we did set a lot of it in the police department, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot in the last few years that have come to light, and I'm happy about that, and I think that meant that we need to start diving into some of those stories. And um, I know sometimes people want to run to television to escape, right, their life and what they're going through. I feel that way too. I have my shows when life is too much. I just want to watch a show that has nothing to do with real life and escape, just to give myself a break. But I do think that there's a responsibility that artists should feel when they're if you're going to focus on a show that is talking about the police, I think you have to do some episodes that talk about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think season five, um, we kind of got a chance to do that. Although I may be thinking of season four of a episode that we did, and of an episode coming up in season six. Um, but I think um, for me, season five was really more about finding this guy's place in the world, trying to
Mm-hmm.
what um, what he wants his mark, what he wants his legacy um, to be, how he wants to raise his son. And um, as you can tell, I'm trying to like not spoil something because I don't know how many episodes people have gotten through, but he does make a decision by the end of season five about what he thinks he should be doing, and um, and in season six that's where he starts out. So for those of you who haven't gotten through all of five, I won't blow it for you. Um, but I, but to say, I think he spends five trying to figure out what his purpose should be and how he can be the best father to.
Yeah, yeah. I think you did a great job kind of talking around it while speaking to the matter at hand. So that was great. Apologies. There's a plane going overhead if that picked up on the audio. I did want to ask too. Going into season six, you mentioned that you just wrapped it. You're also directing an episode. Is that right?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you already did. So tell us a bit about how that came about for you and why you wanted to get behind the camera. Because my understanding, just looking at your IMDb, you've directed a short in the past, but this is the first time that you've been a part of a TV series and you got behind the camera yourself. So tell us about that journey.
That's been something that I've wanted to do for my God, 25 years. I mean, I started out in theater, have directed a lot of theater. Excuse me. Wrote things, plays, shorts, screenplays, and so uh, directing is something that I've always loved. It's been somewhat challenging out here in this industry to break into that side of it.
Hmm.
Sometimes for reasons I don't always understand. Um, but what I will say is if there were two people who were really instrumental in finally being able to push that um, over the line for me, is Nathan Hope, who was our producer, um, director first season. He's been the one that has directed the most episodes of Lucifer. Nathan is amazing. I love him. I will always love him. I'll do anything for him. And Christiane Reed, who works over at Bruckheimer TV.
Hmm.
She's executive producer on the show. Love her. She is amazing. Will do anything she ever asked me to do. Those two people were instrumental in finally giving me um, getting getting the show to give me an opportunity to direct. I think it's challenging sometimes when you've been in the business for a considerable period of time and you're a known entity.
Hmm.
I think it's challenging for people to see you do something different, to imagine you doing something different. And so I think people needed to be convinced repeatedly. And I'm glad like I said, I'm glad I had those two people's help. They were fantastic. Um, and our line producer, once everything was happening, Joan Cunningham, is a godsend. She is fantastic. Joan deserves. I mean, look, we all of us always talk about Joan, but Joan deserves the world. Whatever she wants, whatever she desires, she should get.
Yeah.
She was fantastic, and so the experience for me was really challenging. But also, I mean, I had so much support that there was no way that I could fail.
Hmm.
And working with this cast, we all know each other very well. We've been together for 6 seasons, so I know the egos, I know the insecurities, I know the strengths. Um, I know their how generous they are, each and every one of them, how talented, how gifted they are, each and every one of them.
Hmm.
So it was that part of it was fantastic. I think what was challenging was doing it under all of the COVID restrictions. So to step into a television program that normally you have 12 to 13 hours a day, and we're restricted to 10. And what
Hmm.
that like 10 hours, it was really more, when you're talking about really filming, it was more like 8.5 hours. And to be a first time director on a major television show, a successful television show, and to be given that little time to try to be creative was challenging. This was definitely the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, aside from being a dad. That this was the hardest thing. But I've been saying this every day. It's also been the most rewarding.
Hmm.
Uh, just everything that you can, I feel like one's imagination, you're just constantly firing, and a lot of times you don't get a chance to carry things through. With directing, you're just being constantly fed. And so after you get done with the job, there's just you get sick, or you kind of pass out for 3 days. It's such an amazing high. There's such a feeling of accomplishment when you finish. Um, it was absolutely amazing. I can't wait for people to see the episode, and I can't wait to jump in and do it all over again for some other people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it myself. And it sounds like that the opportunity came about by advocating for yourself and by putting yourself up for the job, but also surrounding yourself with like-minded collaborators, people who are in your corner. Considering that Backstage, a lot of our audience are kind of the working actors of the world, are the early career creators. What advice would you have for a performer that does want to ultimately do that? It sounds like you took a lot away from the experience. So any insight that you could share with us about how to actually do it would be welcome.
Honestly, what I would say is, and I that that's successful that you think you are, you always have to fight. Um, and I think, I'll beat up on myself as an example. I think I thought that because I'm a hard worker and that because I've been in the business for 20, 25 years, that it should be a natural progression, right? That people should that doors would naturally open up, that people would be receptive to that. And so I was shocked when that wasn't the case. And so what I would say to people is always keep that grinding hustler mentality for everything that you want to do in this business. Continue to grind, because there's no such thing as you've arrived. There is such thing as you've arrived. And so you always have to push. You always have to fight. I know probably hearing that, it can sound exhausting. It is, but that doesn't mean that you can't take breaks. That doesn't mean that you can't walk away, spend time with your family, just take a few weeks off. I think that's important. But just know that it's always going to be a fight, that you always have to fight for yourself, advocate for yourself, push to get into doors, never stop. Be kind about it, but persist. Don't take no. Just keep pushing and pushing and grinding and grinding and fighting and fighting. It never ends. I don't care if you're 18, 25, 30, 40, 60, it never ends. You have to keep grinding. And like I said, I know that can sound exhausting and that you feel, wow, doesn't it ever get any easier? No. So learn that now. No, it never gets easier. Don't let that beat you down. Don't let that frustrate you. Just remember to take care of yourself and take time off. You don't have to be in the fight 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My God, don't do that. But it's a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a fight no matter where you are. So you just have to keep pushing. So if you're someone that wants to direct, I would say that keep trying to shadow as many people as possible. Very few people are going to turn you away from sets if all you want to do is hang out in the back and you're going to be quiet. You're just going to watch what they're doing, how they're doing it. It is a welcoming business. It's not, people aren't trying to keep people out. I think sometimes when you're in it, people tend to be territorial. But I think once you're in the business, no one is going to try to keep you out. So the number one thing that I would say to people is to just keep fighting all the way, and don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, DB, I think those are some good pearls of wisdom to wrap this up on. It's been great to get to know you a little bit. Congratulations on the new set of episodes, and I can't wait to see what season 6 has in store, and particularly for that episode that you got to direct yourself. But thank you again for sharing your time with us. This was lovely.
Thank you so much, and have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.